The information is presented for educational purposes only, is not intended to diagnose or prescribe for any medical or psychological condition, or to prevent, treat, mitigate, or cure such conditions. This information is only presented herein for entertainment and educational purposes only. Living Waters Wellness Center was formed after we discovered how to heal my body from multiple symptoms, including allergies, asthma, chronic fatigue, back pain, psoriasis, acne, hives, yeast infections, and finally cancer. After 20 years of trying numerous different treatments, medical treatments, cleanses, iridology, muscle therapy, acupuncture, acupressure, homeopathy, naturopathy, these experiences led us to discover that the recipe that became known as the 4 natural laws of healing, combining multiple natural healing modalities to fully detox and cleanse the body, and allowing the body to take the perfect nutrition to fully restore the body back to its innate health. This became known as the 10-day healing retreat. We've helped thousands of people get their health restored so they can live the life to the fullest. If you want to learn how you can get your body back to living their best life, go to livingwaterscleanse.com, click on the 4 natural laws of healing, and watch that video, or call the office at 208-378-9911. Good morning, Americans. Welcome to the Whole Body Detox Show. This is your host, David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center, and your host for today's show. So today we're going to be talking about the number one tool we use here at Living Waters Wellness Center on our 10-day healing retreat, kind of give you some of the backstory, how I got involved in this, and why you should be considering colon hydrotherapy as your wellness protocol. So if you've been struggling with any kind of health issues, or just want to stay on top of your game and keep your body well functioning, you need to understand why colon hydrotherapy can help you. Just like me and several thousand other people who came through our facility over the last 13 years, once you do colon hydrotherapy, you'll discover it's a very inexpensive, easy tool to help get your body back to wellness quickly and easily. Why is that? Well, 85% of your immune system is in the gut, and every organ in your body attaches to the small intestine and large intestine. Now, when I say large intestine or colon, it's the same organ. That's at 5 to 7 feet that creates the exit capability of all the digested matter that you have consumed throughout the day. So let's go back to how I got involved. It was about 1993, 94, I can't remember the year now, but I've been having a lot of problems. Everything from allergies, asthma, back issues, just all kinds of things. I was always sick or not sick, sick, not sick. And I don't mean like colds, flus down. It was just I was always hurting. Muscle aches. It would take me an hour to warm up to play basketball. Always stiff and sore. My feet hurt. I was always tearing my plantar fasciitis. Could never heal. I had orthotics made. I did all this stuff. Going to chiropractors one time daily. I was going through all kinds of things to figure out how to get well. One day, this gal looked into my eyes. She was an iridologist, and she says, "David, how often do you go to the bathroom?" I had to think about it. I thought, well, I don't know, maybe sometimes daily, sometimes every 3 days, sometimes every 2 days, kind of depends. She goes, "Yeah, that's not good. You're constipated. You need to do colon hydrotherapy." And like most of you, I went, "What is colon hydrotherapy?" So she smiled and she explained it, and I still didn't really have a clue of what it was. So today I'm going to describe the best I can for you, but first I'm going to talk about why of colon hydrotherapy and answer some of those questions. Look, so when I started doing colon hydrotherapy, my first few sessions was like, oh my word, I feel so much better. I felt lighter. I felt refreshed. It was game changer for me. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is great. And so I became really a connoisseur of colon hydrotherapy. Don't know how else to put it. It was making my life so much better. My muscles weren't as stiff. They weren't as sore. And I kept getting better and better and better. And eventually, if you've heard my story before, I've had not only allergies and asthma and all these back issues, but I eventually had cancer. And so this is one of the tools that's helped my family reverse those symptoms as well. Fast forward to about 2005, my wife had a vision when her dad had about 4 months to live, he was told. He had prostate cancer, liver cancer. He was really hurting. He was gray in his skin color, grumpy, didn't feel good. And my wife had a vision. She says, you should do 10 days. And so he did. And it was flipping amazing change in him. And as we watched this process go, we thought, wow. And so I never really put together like the whole 10-day like we have here today. Our recipe today is vastly different than when we even started in 2009. And this is 2005, of course, for him. And so I thought, oh my gosh, everyone needs to be doing this. I did my 10-day, and it was like, wow, why would we do anything else? And so we did. I did 10-day. My mom, my dad, my mom had severe allergies. I mean, allergic to, you name it, she was allergic to it. Everything from, really, I always, even dryer lint, dust, weeds, perfume, you name it. She had gas and bloating and all these gut issues as well. And when she did her cleanse, I would say that first 10-day cleared about 90% of her allergies. I mean, it was just a game changer for her. My dad had a lot of prostate issues, and when he did his 10-day, that was really made a big difference in him as well. So we're talking about, what is colon hydrotherapy? What is that? What are you doing with colon hydrotherapy? Well, as you can imagine, we're cleaning out your colon. Why is that important? Well, as I mentioned, 85% of your immune system is in the gut. You have more neurons in our gut than our spinal column. Every organ in your body has a nerve that connects to the intestinal tract. Your microbiome weighs over 5 pounds. The neurons fire and wire the nerves that connect to your organs. So think of neurons as cell phones. If your cell phone is covered with poop, you wouldn't be able to receive a call. Well, in your gut, if fecal matter is coming up the neurons, there's going to be a dis-ease in the body as these nerves are no longer firing properly. How your bowel lives is how you live. Can't put it any clearer than that. So if you are eating and you're not pooping for a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks, you are a serious toxic bucket just waiting for cancer to blow up in your body. It's as simple as that. You've got to keep the colon clean, because the colon is going to affect every other organ in your body. So think about all this digested matter sitting in your colon. It's maybe been sitting there for years. The average person packs around 12 to 15 pounds of just old fecal matter in their gut. And what happens is that it presses into the tissues, that gets into the blood system, that gets into the lymphatic system. Now, our lymphatic system is amazing. You have 800 lymph nodes in your body, and the lymphatic is there to kind of clean things up. The problem is there's no pump for it. The other problem is, if you've got dirty blood, then you've got dirty intestinal fluid, and when the lymphatic is picking up all this interstitial fluid that is seeping out of the capillaries of your blood system, it's going to go up from, say, the bottom of your legs, wherever it's at in the body, and then up into the vein, which now goes to the liver, and now you got toxic liver. For those of you who are having fatty liver issues or cirrhosis of the liver, those because you have a severely toxic liver. It didn't just appear one day. It's because you've been in a very toxic environment. You're a very toxic person. We start cleaning out the body. We've had people actually reverse those issues, reverse fatty liver. We've seen people reverse even their cirrhosis and their hepatitis C, for crying out loud. It's just amazing. When you start cleaning up the body wants to get back to wellness. It really does. And it's just waiting for you to do what you got to do and give it the orders to clean that body out. So we'll explain more of that as we go along here today. Colon hydrotherapy is not an enema. An enema is going to contain about 1 quart to 2 quarts of water. You'll put that in your colon. The problem is that you've got to do probably hundreds of enemas to equal a single colon hydrotherapy session. The beauty of a colonic bed is that you come into a room, you undress from the waist down, and you're all covered up. You have a blanket over you, and you insert a very small rectal tube, about the size of a pencil, into your rectum. Really easy to do. You really don't feel it there. And once it's in, and then water's going to go into the colon, and it's going to come back out. It's going to go in. So it's kind of this rinsing action happening in the colon. The beauty of that is doing a couple of things. One, it's going to dissolve any old undigested matter that's just sitting there. And sometimes, for those of you, if you're pooping like a rabbit, or if you haven't went for a couple of days or 5 days or a week, you probably got some very seriously hardened matter in there. I've had people come in here where it's like concrete, and it comes out as big as their fist, as hard as a rock, plugs our tubes up. And that's been in there for who knows how long, and that's really causing a problem. Of course, when they get done, they feel so much better, and now they can think clearly, right? They can hear better. I mean, just all these things. They can walk better. Their muscles don't hurt. Their joints don't hurt. We've seen arthritis issues dissipate. We've seen, oh my gosh, we've seen the gamut. We've seen tumors. As I said, we've seen it. They went to their doctor and they have verified that the tumors have actually shrank while here doing a 10-day cleanse. How amazingly powerful is that? So it's pretty powerful. So colon hydrotherapy, you're on a specially made bed. You have control of the water. The water's just trickling in there and then trickling out. The second thing that the colon hydrotherapy session is doing, is it's hydrating the tissue. Most Americans are simply dehydrated, and if you've been constipated, you're definitely dehydrated. Those tissues need to be hydrated. So when we start hydrating those tissues, what we'll see is the color in the face changes. All of a sudden, they go from gray to pink as we not only dissolve the old matter, but we also get that tissue in the colon hydrated. The third thing it does is very important, is it's really coaching that muscle to get back to doing peristalsis. Peristalsis is the squeezing of that muscle to move out the undigested matter into the toilet. So when you've been constipated, that muscle can get as big as 16 inches. It's going to take some time to get that muscle functioning properly. That's why you need to do several colon hydrotherapy sessions. And so to get that muscle properly trained and properly back to wellness. In other words, what I say is that you're doing aerobics for the colon, basically. That's why it's important for peristalsis. So anyway, we were talking about what happens when you're doing colon hydrotherapy. Look, that muscle should be 3 inches in diameter, and it can get as big as 16. You can get twists in it, kinks. You can get little pooched out pockets of poop in it. They call that diverticulosis or diverticulitis. That can be painful. For those of you who are suffering from Crohn's or colitis, colon hydrotherapy is going to help get you back to wellness, because we're going to hydrate that body. We're going to detox all the old stuff out of it, and then we're going to give it the perfect nutrition. We talk about a thing called the 4 natural laws of healing. And I submit to you, if you follow the 4 natural laws of healing, I don't care what you got, you can get better. I've seen it over and over and over. I've had some pretty severe cases in here over the years. I'll talk about some of those later. But let's continue talking about why colon hydrotherapy and how you do it. As we mentioned on the last session, give you a picture of it. But you're in the bed for about 45 minutes on the bed, 45 to 50 minutes with the water running. And then you're going to drain after you're done. And so if you need to go to work or go work out at the gym, or you got an engagement you need to go that night, no problem. You're going to be fully drained. No accidents are going to happen. If you follow our instructions, you'll be perfectly fine. So well-functioning bowels. We want a well-functioning bowel, as I mentioned earlier, because of all the neurons located in the gut and because of the microbiome. That's our immune system. During this pandemic, we should have been talking more about the colon. We should have been talking about getting your gut better. We should be talking about foods to eat. But no one's talking about that. We're talking about something we can collect a lot of money off of called a jab. I'm not going to digress into that, but really, I've had people come in during the epidemic or pandemic, coughing, hacking, and we turn them around in a couple of hours. I mean, just really, from my standpoint, a miracle. And I see lots of miracles all the time. We'll talk about those more in a minute. So I mentioned we follow the 4 natural laws, and there's a video on our website called 4 Natural Laws of Healing. You want to click on that, and you want to watch it in its entirety, because I give you a great visual, and I explain in depth all this information in about 68 minutes. And if you want to come here, you got to watch it. So go take care of it. 4 Natural Laws of Healing on the website. So as I mentioned, your total length of your bowels are about 35 feet in length. The small intestine is about 27, 28 feet in length. And that is where a lot of the nutrition gets broken down and the nutrition gets absorbed. So in that part of the intestinal tract, you've got what I call shag carpet. They call it the villi in the anatomy books, but that's how you absorb the vitamins and minerals into the bloodstream to go to the cells. At the end of the day, 50 trillion plus cells, you've got to give them the nutrients to basically burn the fuel in the mitochondria of the cells. So if you're not absorbing the nutrition out of your food because you have a plugged up intestinal tract, you're going to have a problem. So really important to use the water to hydrate with that. For those of you who've got Candida yeast, you've been throwing probiotics at it, I'll submit to you that yeast now is systemic throughout the entire body, in the blood, in the tissues, and no supplement is going to change that microbiome with this by throwing a probiotic in it. We got to clean things out first. The analogy I like to use is, imagine you have a refrigerator of old, toxic, moldy, rotting food. Would you throw some clean food in there and expect it to change? Would you throw some probiotics in there and expect it to change? No. You'd clean it out, you'd throw away the old food, and you would start with brand new. And that's literally what we have to do with your body. We got to clean out the old and then reestablish with the new. So that's why we got to need to do colon hydrotherapy. And when you do that, for those of you who have been suffering from different things, when you do that and you start giving the nutrition, you're going to see changes relatively quickly and easily, especially if you're doing our 10-day healing retreat. On our 10-day healing retreat, we're using multiple modalities. I'll go through some of those in a moment, but it's really important to understand that you've got to apply all the tools to get the body back into balance. So let's talk about some questions. If your stools are soft, if your stools are coming out very loose, that's a microbiome problem. If they're coming out on the other extreme, little tiny hard rabbit pellets, now you're severely constipated. What you really want to do is have more of a good length, a good size. You want it to be brown. You don't want it to be really dark black. That means it's been in there for quite a while. And you want it to be more of a kind of a tube shape, if you will. And what we see here is most people come in, they've got a messed up microbiome system, so it's not coming out properly, right? So, and you're not going to, as I mentioned, you're not going to change it with just some probiotics. You're going to clean things out first. So, a couple of things you can discern whether or not colon hydrotherapy is right for you. One, of course, obviously constipation. You need to get that taken care of, because if not, your body's going to get very toxic and it's going to eventually create some kind of a polyp or possibly a tumor in your colon or someplace else in your body. If you have a coated tongue, you need to come and do colonics. If you have bad breath or bad body odor, that's a severely toxic system. Acne, psoriasis, hives, itchy skin, that's all a sign of a very toxic body, a very toxic liver. And what your liver tries to do is find places to store these extra toxins that it can no longer store, because it's 50,000 bile ducts are plugged. So we want to, with just old debris, so we want to get, the body will actually store these in fat or in your subcutaneous tissue. And then when you have stressful event, it'll probably come through the skin. And now you've got itchy skin or some hives and psoriasis. Those of you with toenail fungus, that's an internal problem. That's not an external problem. Doing a laser treatment on it is not going to take care of it. You got to clean out the inside. I've had so many people come with toenail fungus over the years and are absolutely shocked to learn that all they had to do was clean out the body and then restore it with the right nutrition, and that would change that internal problem. If you've got a lot of fatigue, cold hands and cold feet, classic example of poor circulation. Let's get that circulation moving. Let's get the blood moving. Let's clean out the body. Brittle nails, hair falling out. Hair falling out and brittle nails, that's just your body has said, you know what? We don't get enough nutrition to serve up the organs that need these vitamins and minerals, so I'm going to steal it from someplace else. So literally what your body does is it robs Peter to pay Paul. So if you're not getting good nutritional supplements in your body every day and getting them absorbed, then your body says, okay, I need some zinc today. Who's got zinc? And maybe the bone offers it up. Oh, it takes some out of the bone. I don't need it for a while. I don't need it. We can replace it later. Or maybe it's the hair or the skin or the nails. So now you have this robbing Peter to pay Paul to get that nutrition to where it needs to go. Really important to understand that you have to have these pathways clear to get the nutrition absorbed. If you're having memory issues, tension, allergies, indigestion, menstrual problems, we've had people that either severe cycles or no cycles at all. I mean, we had one gal, she hadn't had a cycle in like 3 or 4 years, and she was told she never have kids. She did colon hydrotherapy sessions, did a whole 10-day cleanse or retreat, and guess what? Everything started functioning properly again. We've had people who couldn't conceive that came in and cleansed out their body, did a 10-day cleanse, got all the parasites out, all that yeast, Candida, got all those heavy metals out. Guess what? They were able to conceive. So if you're having problems with conceiving, colon hydrotherapy and a 10-day deep tissue cleanse will be your best friend to get you back to wellness. People commonly ask, I had a colonoscopy done. I really got cleaned out for that. Well, yeah, you took a diuretic and you had a lot of your body expelled a lot of water, and you might have had some fecal matter come out as well. But I got to tell you, time after time, I've had people come here within a few weeks or a month of doing a colonoscopy, and they're absolutely blown away of how much gunk comes out of their body. So just because you're flushing some water through doesn't mean you're getting stuff really off the walls of that intestinal tract so that you can absorb the nutrition that you need to absorb to be well. Because at the end of the day, how much nutrition are you absorbing? Are you taking good nutrition? And if you're spending lots of money juicing and buying supplements, let's clean out that gut. Let's get that villi of the gut. We don't want it smashed down like I explained in the video called The 4 Natural Laws of Healing over at the Will Living Wellness site. We want to get that cleared so that you can absorb it properly. We'll be back in a moment. I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center and your host of the Whole Body Detox Show. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 20-25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you. Welcome back. David DeHaas, your host of the Whole Body Detox Show from Living Waters Wellness Center. Guys, if you want to come in and just take a tour, you kind of want to put your toes in the water and so forth, I would really encourage you to come in and just take a simple tour or go to our website and click on the link 4 Natural Laws of Healing and watch that webinar. And we also on the website, we have a video under treatment types on colon hydrotherapy on what it looks like to do a session. We actually go through and show you what a session looks like. It's about a little 10-minute video. Again, it's very private, easy to do. You're not going to be exposed. It doesn't hurt. It's just really super easy. And for those who've been regulars for years and years and years, they know they get a little off kilter. Maybe they had a little too much at the Super Bowl party or during the Christmas holidays or whatever, and they're going like, oh my gosh, my gut hurts. Well, get in here and let's clean all that old toxic garbage out so you can start feeling better, so you can start living your life better. Now, the other big reason why I promote colon hydrotherapy, not only because of what it's done for me and my family, I mean, it's saved our lives. My dad, for example, you'll see this in the video, but my dad was told about 13 years ago, he had a PSA number of 38 and his Gleason number was 9. Gleason 10's the highest. He was told with all the treatments they could do for him, the best he would have about 2 years because it would come back. So my dad decided to do a cleanse. He did a 10-day cleanse right after that. And during that cleanse, his numbers just started dropping like a rock. And by the end of the cleanse, I think his number's down to 0.0347. It's been hanging around there ever since. I mean, amazing change in just those 10 days. So really amazing change. My mother, I told you her allergies. My father-in-law, he had this cancer going on in his body, cleared that. I'm going to tell you a couple of recent stories, but it's pretty fun to share. In fact, this was just posted on our Facebook recently. We had a gal prior to the last cleanse that I happened to call on a Sunday afternoon because I hadn't heard from her for a while. And I know she wanted to do the 10-day cleanse, and I reached out to her, and she was crying on the phone. And I said, what's going on? She said, well, I'm in the emergency room here at this Doc in the Box, and or maybe it's a hospital. I can't remember where she's at. Anyway, she says, I am, my bladder's bleeding. I'm really not in pain. I said, let's cleanse you out. Let's get you healed. Let's do this 10-day cleanse. So she came down and to the Living Waters on a Sunday afternoon. I met her here at 5 o'clock. That first colonic, she was hurting for certain. It was really a tough cleanse for her. She was in so much pain already, but she got off, came back the next day. Her bladder stopped bleeding. All the stuff she had going on, it started to dissipate. And what's pretty amazing is 8 days later, she walks into my office and says, David, you got to look at these shoes. I said, yeah. And they were a pair of kind of fancy Vans. And she says, yeah, I wore these at my wedding with no socks. She says, today I'm wearing wool socks. I haven't been able to wear these shoes since my wedding. And that was with no socks, and I barely fit into them then. And today I've got wool socks on. She says, I've lost 2 pant sizes. I've lost a full size, a cup size off my breasts. And you could just see her whole face. I mean, it was just, it thinned down. The inflammation was out of her body. She looked so different. During the cleanse, her husband and I think an uncle or something had brought home some RSV and to her. She got that as well. So she was sick during the cleanse, but she flipped that around pretty quickly. And so we see that. We see people come in, there'd be sneezing and coughing and hacking and they do a few sessions, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, they're breathing better, they're sleeping better, their symptoms go down. When you get that gut, you get that 85% of your immune system doing what it needs to be doing, you're going to be a different person. I want to answer some more frequently asked questions. So if you just want to come in and do colonics, we have packages, 3 sessions, 5 sessions, 9, 10 sessions, etc. And so we give you little discounts if the more colonics you buy. It does take 10 days to get all the way around the colon. And some people, you need maybe a couple extra days. For example, in the retreat we're doing right now, I think most people are going to be staying a couple extra days. They've already determined that they're enjoying it so much, they're getting so much out of it, they want to do a couple extra treatments at the end. And so some people do that. So 10 to 12 days to get around the colon. So if you come in and you just do 1 session, I never recommend 1. I really don't like to just do 1 session, that's it. But I know some of you say, I want to see what it does for me. Look, if you don't think it's going to help you, go over and look at our website, livingwaterscleanse.com. Got about 200 videos up there. People telling the story, people just like you. There's probably some of your symptoms. Look, we don't make claims that we're going to cure you or heal you. We can't do that. But I'm just going to share with you, this is what happened to other people. And like I say, it makes sense because you got to get the immune system functioning properly. And you can't do it with an impacted bowels. And I know some of you say, well, I go once a day. I have great bowel relief. But how many toxins have you breathed in through the years? How much stuff have you put on your skin? Maybe you're a car mechanic and you've had your hands in solvents, or maybe you've been a smoker and you got all those toxins in your body, and maybe you've ate right and you did all the right things in your work, but you're in a toxic soup bucket. Your neighbors are spraying pesticides on their plants and trees, and you're breathing that in. You're in a home, maybe you bought a brand new home, and we talked about this last week on the show called Toxins. You got all these chemicals coming off of the carpets and the glues and all this stuff. And so maybe you bought a brand new car and you got toxins coming out. So you have so many gaseous effects coming into your body. You got to get that stuff out of there. And your poor old liver is begging you to do that. So for those of you with hormone issues and thyroid issues, don't treat the symptom. Let's treat the root cause, toxicity. Let's clean that out. Quit wasting your money on chasing symptoms. Let's get the palate well. And then if you need other nutrients, you need other things, your body's going to take it and know right what to do with it quickly and easily. Save you a ton of money on some of the supplements you may be taking and using. You'll be totally amazed. I've seen this happen time and time and time again. Over the last 13 years, we've been running Living Waters Wellness Center. So again, over on the site, there's a video you need to watch called 4 Natural Laws of Healing. Have the whole family watch it. Have your first grader watch it. They will understand it. I made it at a first grade level. Simple, easy. You'll understand it. You got to watch it. If you want to come do and have a transaction with us, I don't let you in the door unless you watch it. So go watch it. And then while you're there, you can see how to do a colonic as well. Okay, people ask, where do we get our water? Well, we get our body water from the city like everyone else, but it goes through a double filter system. So we got a UV filter, we got a very special carbon filter, so it goes through both of those. Do we add anything to the water? No, we don't add anything to the water. You're getting purified water. Now, for some people on the healing retreat, we do some things at the end of the colonic that's going to help restore the microflora back into your gut. We also give you, when you come in for a colonic, we give you probiotic afterward and some electrolytes. If you go out and you do some research on colon hydrotherapy, there's actually websites that say that you can die doing colon hydrotherapy. But I'm going to tell you, I've researched this. There's never been anyone die from colonics. Look at it, it's just water going into your colon. And if you have constipation, you probably put more pressure on your colon than you will with just this water, just a little tiny stream of water trickling into your colon. So really, it's pretty safe. We go through, so people ask about, how do we clean our equipment? We go through a really regimented process, a 35-step process to clean our systems. The rectal tubes are only used one time, they're thrown away. Anyway, we pride ourselves on how clean our rooms are on our facilities and everything. We take big time care of that. We actually have some machines at night that go on that treat the whole place and kill off any viruses as well. People ask, well, can I come in if I'm having my menstrual period? Yes, you can. And you're going to be appreciative for doing it during that cycle as well. Can colon hydrotherapy improve the bacteria balance in your body? Yes. The fastest way to improve the good bacteria in your gut is to remove all the old putrefying, rotting mass that is destroying your good bacteria right now. So let's get that out of there. Can you do one if you're sick? Definitely. I always encourage people, if you're sick, got the sniffles, the flu, whatever, come in, do a colonic. You're going to notice a change in a moment. We're in the middle of a 10-day healing retreat right now, seeing lots of cool miracles. I'm going to share more of those in a minute. One of the questions I want to answer, people ask, what about juice cleansing? Okay, well, a juice cleanse is really not a cleanse. You are giving yourself some good heavy dose of micronutrients, but at the end of the day, we got to clean the body. I'll give you an example. Had a guy that did a 40-day water fast, and he decided to do a 10-day cleanse. He was shocked at how much garbage came out of his body, and you will be too. So it's good to do juicing. I juice not every day, well, almost every day, but juice is giving you a lot of micronutrients. So it's a great way to supercharge your body, and I highly encourage it. We did a whole show, I think it's back on episode number 4 with John Kohler of discountjuicers.com. If you're looking to buy a good juicer, go buy it from John at discountjuicers.com. He'll treat you right. So let's talk about the fun stuff. Parasites. This is a big problem in your bodies. Dr. Holder Clark was a big advocate. If you've got parasites and you've got cancer, let's get rid of the parasites, because you get rid of the parasites, your cancer will be in remission. That was her premise. And I got to tell you, everyone I've had come in here has had parasites, and parasites they're everywhere, guys. I don't care if you're eating raw vegan food or you're eating organic food. Parasites are simply everywhere. If you've got pets or ate sushi, you shook someone's hands, they're very microscopic, and you don't even see them enter your body, but then they'll grow to become very, very large. And so you want to take care of those. Those parasites are energy beings. They cause you to think a little differently. You probably would like to. They cause you to do things you probably wouldn't like to do. They really put you off kilter is the medical term that we use here, off kilter a lot. That and cattywampus. So if you're cattywampus or off kilter, the 10-day healing retreat is going to be the best thing for you. We had a gal that had spent 4 years with her naturopath, spent about $72,000 in supplements, taking 150 capsules a day to treat these parasites. And she said, Dave, if I could just cut this down by half, I'd be happy. So this video is over on our site someplace about parasites, on our YouTube channel as well. Just Google Living Waters Wellness, and you'll find it there on the YouTube channel. But she came through the cleanse, spent 15 days with us, did 2 liver cleanses at the same time, and buckets. We're talking buckets of parasites came out. Hookworms, ropeworms. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. We have pictures of it there in that video if you find it. It was really amazing, really big change. She became one of our best leading referral partners. Pretty incredible story. We've had people walk in here, or not walk. We had people pushed in here on either an electric chair, or they've had been pushed in with a regular wheelchair, and they can't walk. They can't stand up on their own. We got to lift them to get them on the colonic bed. And what's amazing about this story is, I'll tell you one. A guy came in here and fatty liver. He'd had 16 stents in his arteries over the years. Been out of the hospital for 6 months. Living with his daughter, and he could not function. In fact, I didn't know that he would see the end of the year. That's how sick this guy was. So he did 3 colonics. He decided to do colonics because he was very constipated. I shared with him, if you really want to get better and go home for Christmas, which was his wish, I said, let's do the 10-day cleanse. And after 3 colonics, he says, I agree. And so he began doing colonics, and within 5 days, he was walking with the aid of a walker, and he wasn't in a wheelchair any longer. He eventually got to be able to walk on his own. Pretty incredible story. He could stand up and sit down on his own before he left. I have that video on the website as well. Another story out of a guy years ago came in with Parkinson's disease, and he had an electric cart, and his legs were as black as night. I would look at his legs and went, holy heck. And anyway, we started cleansing. It took 6 months. 6 months of I think he came in once or twice a week, as I recall. And in 6 months, his legs were completely pink. But the cool story is that after 6 colonics, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks, he did those 6 colonics. He was not using his electric cart anymore. He was using a walker. In fact, pretty soon, he quit putting his electric cart on the back of his vehicle. He was just using the walker, which is a pretty cool story if you think about it. Had another gal that came in here, and she was hauled in here, literally carried. No wheelchair. They just carried her in. She's very tiny. Legs literally frozen together. pretty interesting case. But she really started improving fast. It was amazing. Her legs started getting. I mean, they was as stiff as a board. I mean, bent, stiff. It was unbelievable. I mean, I've never seen anything like it since. But we started seeing those changes pretty fast. Really amazing story. One of my coolest stories is as a young gal. She was 19 years of age, and she LDS gal, and she was headed for a LDS mission. And she got selected to go to Boston, and this was before the winter. She went during that really big winter, I think in 2015 or 16. Remember when the snow just dumped in Boston? She spent most of her time on her mission shoveling snow. But anyway, she was sick, not sick, and I was really worried about her. So we gave her a 10-day cleanse. She'd been working for us part-time, and this is a cool story because she had difficulty with school. And it was really cool. On her 8th day after her liver cleanse, she had been asked to speak at her church about why she wanted to go on this mission. And she was really scared to give this presentation. She was really a lot of anxiety about it. She came in after giving that presentation. I said, how'd it go? How'd it go? She goes, it went amazing. She goes, everyone came up to me and said, oh my gosh, we never heard you speak that well. We never heard you speak at all. Well, my gosh, you guys speak more. You're an incredible speaker. And she goes, David, I could speak well because now I can think. I can think. So for those of you experiencing brain fog, 10-day wellness retreat, your best bet. Highest return on your investment dollar or your wellness dollar to do a wellness retreat. I don't care who you are, whether you just want to stay fit, you want to live well into your senior years and be able to do all the things, live your best life. You've got to clean the body. You've got to get these toxins out. And none of us are immune to toxins. They're everywhere. Everywhere. As I pointed out in the show last week, they're everywhere. Some of you are cooking with things you shouldn't be cooking of. And we teach you all this stuff on the 10-day cleanse. We teach you about the stuff that's going on in your dentistry is a big issue with a lot of people. And there's a lot of people out there who have had mercury put in their mouth over the years. And maybe you've had it taken out, but I'm going to bet you $100 you probably had it taken out improperly because most dentists were never trained to take it out properly. It's a very special process to get that mercury out without infecting you and making it worse. So really important. We talk about that on the cleanse. We teach you a lot of stuff on the healing retreat. We give you so many tools, emotional tools. I mean, it's really cool to see people clearing old emotional debris that happened in their childhood. And they let that stuff go and they get resolved with whatever that thing was. And to be able to let that go. And part of that process is all the tools we use here is really important for you to understand how that all works in synergy so that you can get back to homeostasis and have a wonderful body and live your best life. So look, what you want to do, I couldn't explain everything today here on this short show, but go to the website, livingwaterscleanse.com, grab the 4 natural laws of healing. And if you want to take me up on that offer earlier, look at one colonic. I'm going to throw in the biomat and the lymphatic detox. That's well over a $200 and some value for $99. Call the office this week, 208-378-9911. And if you still maybe don't want to try that yet, you just want to do a consult, we do those. I do it free the first time. Give you about $1 million worth of information, really do. Some 3-minute conversation we have, it's detailed. So let's live your best life. Come to Living Waters Wellness Center. Let's do the 10-day healing retreat. Let's get the world healed. I'm David DeHaas from Living Waters Wellness Center and your host of the Whole Body Detox Show. If you missed any part of this episode, just go over to your podcast app and type in Whole Body Detox Show and you'll come up, or go to our website, wholebodydetoxshow.com. Be back next week with another segment of the Whole Body Detox Show. Have a blessed week. You can't treat the body and heal it a piece at a time. You have to treat the whole body naturally. That's why Living Waters Wellness Center 10-day healing retreat is so successful in helping what I call the incurables back to wellness. Here's what a few clients had to say about their experience at Living Waters Wellness Center.
For over a year, I've been dealing with gas pains, stomach pains, and it's been waking me up in the middle of the night, so I never get a full night's rest. And last night, after my first colonics, I slept through the entire night without any stomach pain or any kind of issues.
I suffered from migraine headaches for 12 years, once a month, and since I did the 10-day retreat at Living Waters Wellness Center 8 years ago, I have not even had a migraine. I've not even had a headache.
I had back pain on my left side for about 20-25 years. After the 10-day healing retreat, the pain is completely gone.
To learn more about the 10-day healing retreat, go to healingtheincurables.com or call the office at 208-378-9911. That's 208-378-9911. The preceding examples may not be typical of your experience and may not be right for you. Seek the opinion of a qualified healthcare professional before determining if cleansing is right for you.